Hey guys, good morning and welcome to Ham Radio with K0PIR on my YouTube channel. I've been getting a lot of questions on how to adjust power output with digital modes using the Icom 7300 and 7610. I've got an easy way to do it and I'll show you how. Okay, the first thing you want to do is set up your radio, and this will apply to the Icom 7300 and 7610. The menus are pretty similar. I'm going to go into the menu, set, connectors, and in the 7610 I have to go one more menu, mod input, and we're looking at the USB mod level. In the Icom 7300 it's just menu, set, connectors, and you'll see the USB mod level. I have mine set to 30%, and that seems to work good for me with all the software that I use. So set yours to 30%. We're going to exit out of here, and I control the power output using the multi knob. If you look at the top right of the LCD on either radio, just touch the multi knob and adjust the power output. And I typically run about 30 watts on PSK, maximum of 30 watts on FT8, and this works real good. Let me switch over quickly and show you what that looks like. The multi knob, and put the RF power to 30%. Okay, I'm going to exit out of there, and let's go to the software. And if you're using Windows, you'll have a speaker icon in the bottom right hand corner. Right click on it, go to playback devices, and let me move that over. And I have the Icom 7610 here. It's a USB audio codec. I'll double click on it, and then I'm going to go to the levels tab and set this for 50%. And this works well for me and all the software that I use. I'm going to click OK again. Now I have the radio set, the Windows operating system set. I'm using WSJT-X here, and WSJT-X has a power slider. There's another program that has a power slider, and that's DM780. The other programs that I use, like Fldigi or Winwarbler, I don't have to worry about this. But let's take a look at the radio and see what kind of power output I have and what ALC I'm putting out. So I'm going to hit the tuner button on my radio. There's nobody on 80 meters right now. I'm going to hit the tune button, and we'll take a look at the radio. And I'm looking at my LDG power meter to see how much power I'm putting out. So I'll hit the tune button, and I am putting out 30 watts. I've got the audio scope open up right now. I'm going to hit the time and go to 10 milliseconds, and that's what it looks like. I'm going to go to menu and the meter. And on the meter screen, I'm going to hit tune. I'm going to watch my ALC. And my ALC is about 3/4 of halfway, maybe a little bit more than halfway up, and that's just fine. In the Icom manual, it says adjust your power settings for the ALC to be within the ALC range. So that's good. And I've noticed lately using ALC, I don't have to run as much power on my digital modes. So I used to run 20 to 30 watts on FT8, and the other day I was making a lot of contacts, getting good signal reports just using 15 watts, and my ALC was about halfway up. To adjust the ALC, I can, in this WSJT-X, if you look at the power slider, I'll hit the tune button, and you watch the ALC on the radio. I'll move that power slider down, and you'll see the ALC go down. So I can adjust the ALC that way. So that's all I use that power slider for. I don't use it for anything else. If I decide to run 10 watts on FT8, I can use the multi knob on the radio and go down to 10 watts. Now let's take a look at it and see how much power I'm putting out. Hit the tune button, 10 watts, and my ALC stays the same. If I use this power slider on WSJT-X, let me show you what that does. I'm going to turn the RF power up to 100% on the radio, and some people do it this way, and that's fine. I was doing it that way for a long time. I'll hit the tune button, and you'll see I'm putting out 100%, 100 watts. I can move that slider down, hit the tune button, and now I'm only putting out about 25 watts or 15 watts, but my ALC dropped off considerably. And again, according to the manual, you want to have some ALC with these radios. So basically that's why I stopped using this slider. I want a consistent ALC, and if I move that power slider up there, I'm going to turn the power back down, and I'm going to put it on 20 watts. I'll hit the tune button, and my ALC is about halfway up. That looks real good. I put out a good signal. I've been making a lot of contacts that way. So whenever I change software, if I go to DM780, that power slider in DM780, it's the same way. It's about almost to the top. The transmit slider in DM780 is almost to the top. And my power output, I adjust my power output using the multi-knob on the radio. And again, this works with the 7300 and the 7610. So my USB modulation level in the radio menu is set to 30. In my Windows software, the sound card and the playback devices, that is set to 50%, and I leave those alone. I don't have to go back in and touch those. So let me show you what it looks like in Winwarbler. Okay, here we go. I've got Winwarbler pulled up. I'm in PSK31 mode. And let me just point out on my radio, I had the noise blanker and noise reduction turned on, and a couple other things that I don't normally have turned on when I'm operating digital modes. That was just a fluke. I've turned those off, so you'll see on the radio what it normally looks like when I'm operating these digital modes. That's the way the receiver is set up. But anyway, we're in PSK31 mode, Winwarbler, and I've put the power level using the multi-knob to 30%, and I haven't touched anything else. I'm going to hit the start here to send the signal. Let's see if we can hear it. There you go. And I'm looking at my LDG meter, and it's at 30 watts. And you'll notice on the radio, the ALC is up to just about 3/4, and that's just fine. I'm not going to have any distortion with it at 3/4. Halfway to 3/4 is fine that I've seen. So let's take a look at something different here. I'm going to go to the menu and go over to the audio, and we're going to take a look at the audio scope, and let's see what the signal looks like on the audio scope. Alright, that looks good. I'm going to hit the power button to take a snapshot of it. No flat topping. Let's see what a bad signal looks like on this audio scope. I'm going to go into the menu, set, connectors, mod input, and the USB mod level. I'm going to crank it up all the way. Now, this is an exaggeration, but you'll see what I mean. Now look at that. I'll hit the power. You'll see the flat topping. That's a poor signal. So we definitely don't want to be that high. Let's take a look at the meter again, and we'll see what the ALC looks like with it that high. And it's way over. Well, not way over, but it's pretty far over there. Again, I think halfway to 3/4 is probably about as high as you want to go. I'm going to go back into the menu, set, connectors, mod input, USB mod level. Change it back to my setting. I had it at 30%. Exit out. RF power still at 30. I'm in USB D1 mode. Hit the start button, and there the ALC is just 3/4 of the way up, and that's really good. If I want to back off that ALC some, I can do it using the USB mod level in the radio. And I've got it set so it works well with all the software that I'm using. So there you have it, real simple way. If you want to adjust the power, just hit the multi knob. And this way it keeps the ALC consistent. It's halfway to 3/4. And that's what I like. That's what I want to have. My ALC halfway to 3/4. If I use the slider in the software in DM780 or WSJT-X, if I use that power slider, I mean, that's okay, but it does drop the ALC. And you know, that's fine, but I think this is probably a better way. So this is the way I've been doing it. If you have any questions or comments, just post them below. I'll do my best to respond. If you got something out of this video, give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Tell your friends. 73 and good DX.